Hi, I'm Russell America Shad is in here with another episode of Dark Theory USA. I'm with you guys. We're going to talk about the announcement, big announcement that Trump had. Yesterday he announced it. Well, he didn't say what it is. He said, I'm going to say it tomorrow. So today is it tomorrow, which is actually yesterday to be more precise. And we're going to see what he said. I mean, I already know what he said, but just we want to react to it and I give you my opinion. Let's see.
Portfolio. We have a portfolio that's very large, lots of loans, tens of thousands of loans. Pretty complicated deal. And that's coming out of the Department of Education immediately, and it's going to be headed up by
dismantled the Department of Education,
which is better than it has in the past. It's been a mess. And also Bobby Kennedy.
He dismantled Department of Education, which is a very good thing. I think that budget should go back to state, because when you go to the federal, probably I don't agree with many things that Department of Education is doing, but because it's in federal level, the problem is if the bad guys or those people that I don't agree with them, they take care of that, they're gonna teach that BS in entire nation. So even doesn't matter which state you move in, you're gonna see the same curriculum. But in that case, you can, like, basically just like anything else, like people like Texas, they go to the Texas, people want to go to California, but when it came to the education, it wasn't like that. It was nationwide, which was a wrong thing. So
the Health and Human Services will be handling special needs and all of the nutrition programs and everything else, rather complex, but that's going to be headed by and handled by Health and Human Services. So I think that'll work out very well. Those two elements will be taken out of the Department of Education, and then all we have to do is get the students to get guidance from the people that love them and cherish them, including their parents. By the way, they'll be totally involved in their education along with the boards and the governors and the states. And it's going to be great. It's going to be a great situation. I guarantee that in a few years from now, I hope I'm going to be around to see it, but I think we're going to see a lot of it. I think that you're going to have tremendous results. You're going to have results like Norway, Sweden, Denmark, a lot of the countries that do so well. I think you're going to have a lot of those results. If you look at Iowa and Indiana and Idaho, so many places that run so well. Florida, Texas, big ones. You're going to have great education, much better than it is now at half the cost. And we're not even doing it as a cost item, although you will save probably half, maybe more than that, and you're not going to be at the bottom of the list. You're going to be much higher. Maybe you'll be, I will guarantee some of the states will be at the top of the list. They'll be comparable or better than these number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 countries, the countries that are in the top 5 positions. So that's, to me, it's very exciting, and it's been received very well. So I just wanted to tell you about the student loans and special needs. But we're here for a reason today that is very exciting, and I'm thrilled to announce that at my direction, the United States Air Force is moving forward with the world's first 6th-generation fighter jet. Number 6, 6th generation. Nothing in the world comes even close to it, and it'll be known as the F-47. The generals picked the title, and it's a beautiful number, F-47.
So 6th generation of these fighter jets, and it's called 47, of course, because Trump is the 47th president of the United States.
Something the likes of which nobody has seen before in terms of all of the attributes of the fighter jet. There's never been anything even close to it, from speed to maneuverability to what it can have to payload. And this has been in the works for a long period of time. After a rigorous and thorough competition between some of America's top aerospace companies, the Air Force is going to be awarding the contract for the next generation air dominance platform to Boeing. As you know, it was highly competed for. There was a lot of competition, generals, and it's been going on for a long time. Very, very tough competition, but this plane is produced numbers that nobody's ever seen before. The F-47 will be the most advanced, most capable, most lethal aircraft ever built. An experimental version of the plane has secretly been flying for almost 5 years, and we're confident that it massively overpowers the capabilities of any other nation. There's no other nation. We know every other plane. I've seen every one of them, and it's not even close. This is the next level. You know, level 5 is good. This is level 6. So the F-47 is equipped with state-of-the-art stealth technology. It's virtually unseeable and unprecedented power. It's got the most power.
So it has a stealth technology like P2. That's a good thing. Well, it has it better.
Any jet of its kind ever made. Maneuverability, likewise, is there's never been anything like it. Just like the power and speed. Its speed is top. So over 2, which is something that you don't hear very often. America's enemies will never see it coming. Hopefully, we won't have to use it for that purpose, but they have to have it. And if it ever happens, they won't know what the hell hit them. A new fleet of these magnificent planes will be built in the end of the year during my administration. For the next couple of years, it's ready to go. They've already built much of what has to be built in terms of production, including the sheds. We'll ensure that the USA continues to dominate the skies. We're given an order for a lot. We can't tell you the price because it would give way to some of the technology and some of the size of the plane, good size plane. This contract also represents a historic investment in our defense industrial base, helping to keep America at the cutting edge of aerospace and technology. Our allies
so we don't know how much it costs yet. Art stealth tape.
Calling constantly, they want to buy them also, and certain allies will be selling them, perhaps toned down versions. They like to tone them down about 10%, which probably makes sense to sell.
Well, quick story. Whenever United States made the F-35, Israel said that, oh, we want that. And then United said, that's okay, we're going to give it to you. But of course, this is normal. Every country does that. So they downgrade it for 5%, 10% of the technology. So basically, the F-35 that any other country has is 5%, then 10% downgraded compared to the United States. And the reason is obvious, because it's not like we don't trust them, but if it gets to the hand of our enemies, so they can duplicate, they can do the reverse engineering and then get to the bottom of that, and then they can make it. So always we do that. So if it gets to their hand, so they get 10% lower than what we have. But Israel was saying, no, you have to give me exactly what you have. I said, why is that? Like, you are my ally. If anybody attacks you, I will help you. So even that full 100% fully functional F-35 that only United States has, gonna use that to help the Israel. Say, why sweating? Why so much pressure? They said, no, we need to have yours and exactly what you have, which is very, very, very concerning for those people who are deep thinker.
Someday maybe they're not our allies, right? But I would like to ask Secretary Hegseth, who's doing a fantastic job. He's really been very inspiring in so many ways. And I must say that before he speaks, we have had record people wanting to join our military.
You see that picture? It doesn't show exactly how it looks like.
In the last 2.5 months, literally since this, I think probably since the election, November 5th, but especially since we came to office and since I announced Pete. He's young, he's smart, he's strong, he loves it.
That's true. Number of people who joined the army military was way more, because the reason is obvious, because when previous administration was backstabbing army military, people were saying, I'm risking my life for the country that doesn't even care about me. Well, look, if a soldier is going dig his boots on the territory of enemy and risking his life or her life, they better make sure like they are taken care of. Like, you're not gonna go fight for those who don't care about you. Especially the biggest thing that made military people very mad was in the debate between Kamala and Trump. Kamala said, we don't have any troop on ground outside of United States territory, which is absolutely a lie, a BS, which was at that time, which is still it is. And the funny thing is, that was one clip went viral. Joe Rogan was talking about that as well. It was like a couple of military people in the territory of enemy outside. They were like, the troop were sent, deployed to outside of the bases, like they were on the mission. And they were watching the debate and said, well, am I joking to you? I'm already there. Like, we didn't need to somebody come and say this is the lie. It was a lie. Why it was a lie? Well, because those people who were watching it and recorded themselves, they were already deployed outside. So it means what? It means even if they die, they have to cover up. They say, well, who am I dying for? Like, they have to see there is an honor, dignity, there is a pride for them, for their fight, for their lives. If they feel like they are sending them somewhere and say, shh, don't talk about that. Even if you die, we tell your family to not talk about that. Well, I said, then why should I do that then? If that's the case, why should I risk my life for the country that even doesn't want me? So, but when Trump came, people knew that he's gonna take care of the military. So for that reason, they started to get more motivated to go there. Plus, they knew that Trump would increase the budget, so they would get more benefit. Because I think the benefit for some people was not that high. I guess I saw that when I was watching comparing the price for Army, Air Force, Navy. It wasn't the way that. Besides that, they were not in the shape. They were not getting good. They were not taken care of. But also some of the benefits was negotiable. Like, it wasn't something to be appealing that you're gonna go risk your life. I mean, of course, there's an honor always to have the uniform to serve this country. As an immigrant, it is my honor that I am part of this beautiful country. One of the greatest gifts to the people by God is America. Thanks to founding father, thanks God, Alhamdulillah. But still, there should be some mutual respect that I don't think people were feeling that. But I think army needed so much people. I saw that firsthand. Somebody was recruiter, the army guy. He was saying, we give you 50,000 in cash already just for register for army. They needed more people on the ground. So now that more people are saying, oh, probably they're going to take that benefit out, because they were really lacking of people, army people.
And they love him, but we've had record numbers of people wanting to join our military. Now, if you go back 6 months, it was the exact opposite. You had record numbers of people not wanting to join the military. Now you have record numbers of people wanting to be in our military, and that's a great idea. That shows you we're really on the right track. So, maybe say a few words.
Sure. Well, Mr. President, this is a big day. This is a big day for our warfighters. This is a big day for our country, a big day in the world. The name of this program is the Next Generation of Air Dominance. And Mr. President, because of your leadership, your clarity, America is going to have a generations in the future of air dominance because of this sixth generation.
Looks crazy.
We've had the F-15, we had the F-16, the F-18, the F-22, the F-35. Now we have the F-47, which sends a very direct, clear message to our allies that we're not going anywhere, and to our enemies that we will be able to project power around the globe unimpeded for generations to come. Mr. President, this is a gift to my kids and your kids, to my grandkids and your grandkids. This is a historic investment in the American military, in the American industrial base, in American industry that will help revive the warrior ethos inside the military, which we're doing, rebuild our military, which the previous administration did not, by the way, Mr. President. They paused this program, and we're prepared to potentially scrap it. We know this is cheaper, longer range, and more stealthy. President Trump said we're reviving it, and we're doing it. And then we're also going to reestablish deterrence. Under the previous administration, we looked like fools. Not anymore. President Trump has reestablished American leadership. The F-47 is part of it. Mr. President, thank you. We have the courage to do it, and leading the way for all of our fighters.
Thank you very much, Pete. One of the things I will say, like the general's going to speak in just a couple of seconds, but this plane flies with drones. It flies with many, many drones, as many as you want. And
that's
it's technology that's new, but it doesn't fly by itself. It flies with many drones.
You know, it is like those sharks that they swim in the ocean, and those small fish they swim by it. You know, those big whales or big sharks that are swimming, and a small fish next to the shark or the whale, they swim with it, like as it is the navigator. They're like kids following it. It says it's going to be like that, and actually that makes sense, because think about that. Let's go with the F-35. You know how many millions of dollars there are each F-35? They are so expensive. I think they are more than $10 million or something for each F-35, something like that. It's very expensive, right? So you cannot afford losing one of these F-35 anymore. And the reason that you cannot afford anymore, okay, let me break it down to you. Look, back in the day, let's say from 1,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago, right? It was like a fight was over what? Resources, right? So all the empires, they wanted to take other empires or other countries had. It wasn't like 200 countries like today, like small countries, like half the map was one empire, half the map was other empire. You know, it wasn't like small countries all over the place. So these empires, they were fighting each other over resources, right? So whoever had more resources or had something that other ones needed would be attacked, right? And then at that time, life meant safety and food, bread, basically. Like the best, like Netflix of that time, like let's say 600, like 1,000 years, like hundreds of years ago, it was like Colosseum in Italy. Like gladiators, they were fighting lions or each other, and people would cheer them up. That was the biggest entertainment they had, killing each other. Something that they would see that every day by the thieves, because there was no cops the way that it is today, or the war. Like everybody almost in their lifetime, they were at least was in one war, at least one man. Or one woman was seeing father or brother or husband or son was going to the war. So everyone witnessed one war in their lifetime, right? It wasn't like somebody, I haven't seen any war. Or it was deployed, and everybody was deployed. If you can hold the sword, so you are already in the front line. It wasn't like, oh, can I be back? It's like so many people that say, I am in the battlefield, but what are they doing? They are programmers, they are hackers, you know, like it's not, doesn't mean right now if you are at war, necessarily you are on the battleground. Some people, they are piloting drones, you know. So at that time, everyone was at war. They were getting wounded or killed or being killed, killing or being killed. And so that time, it was basically everyone up to the World War II, everyone expected if you really want to have country, if you want to have the bread to eat, if you want the gladiator to kill each other for you as entertainment, if you want to breathe, if you want to be alive, we have to win the war. You know, with the advancement in technology, so of course, people, governments, empires, they started to invest more money into it, right? And nobody was saying, why are we spending so much money on army, on the sword, on shield, on, you know, like there's expenses on paying for the soldiers at the war, tanks, you know, all those equipments, and later on for the gun, for the jets, for the like anti-missiles, for all this stuff. Why? So nobody was questioning. So yeah, everyone was cheering. Just even right now, today, you see in the Russia, people prefer to only have the money for the vodka, but they have the good army. So they still, their mindset is mother Russia, like mother Soviet Union, something like that. Like, we need to be strong if we want to be allied or something. I'm not saying they are very off, because with the NATO moving, sometimes it's really a little scary. So I could understand, like one Russian would say, well, after Ukraine, they're going to go after us. I could see like why they are panicking. But I'm saying more people of the countries, they don't think like there are so many Russians anymore. They say, like, let's say Lithuania, like Estonia. They say Russia is not going to attack us. They are not, like, so many people right now, they think life is so easy in the Europe, especially Eastern Europe. I go to the work with a bicycle, I bike over there and then talk, and I plant a flower, and I come back and I eat the plant-based like a meat, everything is peaceful, like as if it is one episode of one of these teenagerish series, TV series. It looks like, hey, you know, life is so easy. Like they are making drama, as if like the life is like a Kim Kardashian series, like you know, like a what do you say, live show, live TV show. But that's not the case, especially in Africa and Middle East, and also right now in Ukraine. It can get very messy very soon, pretty fast, more sooner than you expect. While, for example, you're planning for vacation next year, you see tomorrow they send you, if you see the videos from the Ukraine, they're sending them, the troops, they are picking them up, put them into the van and put the uniform on their body, and then send them to the first row of the war with the Russia in Ukraine. Those videos are leaked, something that Vice President was talking about that to the Zelensky in the Oval Office, not Oval Office, in the White House. J.D. Vance was talking about that. So yeah, you really don't know what's going to happen. One day you wake up and you see there's a World War III. One day you wake up and you see there is a nuclear exchange. I hope it doesn't happen, but it's not like escalation can go up very rapidly, faster than you can process it. You can get used to it, more than that, faster than that. So at that time, it was easier for countries to spend so much money on their budget because it was only about war. So if you don't talk, we are spending so much money on the defense contractors, on the military, this and that. And people were saying, look, we are alive, we are safe, we don't have war, so that's okay. But I think after World War II, when they wanted to bring peace to the world, so entertainment, peace, the other stuff that didn't look very necessary back in the day prior to World War II, it started to get more important, right? Like climate change. Nobody would care about climate change. If I'm going to get killed, like, do you think like Ukrainian right now, when they are in a fight with Russia, and they care about that if we are polluting the world or not? They say, I'm dying. Who cares about the world if I'm dying? I have to win the war. They say, oh, let me not pollute the world because maybe we win the battle, but we lose the morality or something. Nobody cares because there are more important priority for them. Same thing in here. But right now, because they are this Generation Z, they are not seeing that war is going up, it's escalating. We are smelling like World War III. They are saying like, why should we spend so much on defense contractor? Why should we military budget? And imagine, not only in America, in the whole world, people are thinking the reason that they are poor because they're spending so much on the military. Of course, there are corruption in the military. Of course, no question. That's why other countries need to have DOGE as well to go and see if there is any fraud and any waste in the military, because it's one place that fraud goes to the roof because it's always secret. With so many other things, Department of Education, there is no secret. You can go all the way into. But when it comes to the military, you cannot have access to everything, because there are some top secrets over there. But you need to know those top secrets in order to know if this budget is a waste or fraud. So there are some behind the stage programs that there is no way for you to have access to see it is fraud or waste, like a DOGE. But besides that, in the general, it's very necessary to always be equipped. In Islam also, Allah says in Quran, like, be ready, be equipped. They're gonna attack you. Always have the sharpest tool. Be equipped. Like, have your men ready for the fight. Because so if like basically it's what Trump is saying. Allah says in Quran 1400 years ago, like, strength through the peace. Be so strong. Be so ready. Nobody dares to mess with you, right? But what is happening right now, so many people are saying to their countries, stop investing on the military because we are poor. Back in the day prior to World War II, nobody cared. Nobody says, oh, the reason that I'm alive because of that military budget. But right now, because they are seeing like some countries, they are out of war, like Sweden, Denmark, they say, oh, we want to be like them. The only way we can be like them is we stop caring about the military. But the geography, geopolitics it matters. It's important. It matters because over there, who want to attack Denmark? But if you're in Middle East, like you are in the hotspot, bro, anybody wants to have some piece of you, right? I think that, so what I was trying to say is, up to this point, up to World War II, all the countries could afford all this military stuff because nobody was against that. But right now, because some people are trying their best to make sure to decrease their military budget because they think in that case it's going to de-escalate the intensity between countries. In that case, right now, not every country gonna afford to get that F-47. So this is what I'm trying to say. Even though right now maybe some countries they have more money compared to years ago, but at that time nobody expected anything but safety. But now because they want other stuff rather than safety, because they think safety is already promised to them, given to them. For that reason, what happens is, I think there's going to be so much backlash to any country who wants to buy 47. Say, oh, come on, you bought that because we want to go to the war. It's a waste of money. Either you're going to go to war or not. If you're going to war, we don't vote for you. If you're not going to war, why are you wasting on F-47? So I think even though some countries are way more richer, but there is a possibility that less country going to buy that from that. I hope it's not. I hope our country gets richer by saying that for the peaceful purposes, so other countries see that our allies, they have F-47, so they won't mess with them. But I think the way that, for example, in Europe, there is a backlash that we shouldn't raise our budget for the NATO, it means, so what are you going to spend on like what, global warming and stuff? So I think there will be backlash this time if countries want to buy F-47 by some group of people, but there was no backlash when any country wanted to buy F-35.
As many as we want, and that's something that no other plane can do. So I'd like to introduce my Air Force Chief of Staff, General David Colvin, and also General Dale White, two incredible people that I've known over the years, but I got to know really well over the last few months. And could you say a few words, please, General?
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Mr. President, Mr. Secretary, thank you so much for your unwavering commitment to our military. I will say this is a big day. This is a big day for our United States Air Force as well. Air dominance is not perfect, but it's become synonymous with American air power. But air dominance needs to be earned every single day. And since the earliest days of aerial warfare, brave American airmen have jumped into their machines, taken to the air, and they clear the skies. And whether that be clearing the skies so we can rain down destruction on our enemies from above, or we can clear the path to the ground forces below, that's been our commitment to the fight, and that's really been our promise to America. And with this F-47 as the crown jewel in the next generation air dominance family of systems, we're going to be able to keep that promise well into the future. I also want to thank everyone from industry and the government and our engineers who have worked tirelessly on this program to bring where we are right now today. This shows that American talent, American skill, and American determination.
Oh, so those drones that I said, the good thing is you won't lose them anymore. Like, let's say they are sending some missiles, right? And you try to, there is a capability, if you have watched the Tom Cruise movie about like he was a jet fighter, Top Gun. So in Top Gun, so when they locked on you and they send a missile rocket, so you can send some missiles to, distract them, to save yourself. But you don't have so many, you have limited, of course. But with these drones, like if they see that you are being targeted, those drones can act like a kamikaze and they go hit that rocket. So you don't need to use all of those rockets that you have to distract on the radar, so they couldn't lock on you or they wouldn't be able to hit the plane itself. So you have way more options to defend yourself by those drones. Like for example, you are let's say you go out of ammo, you can use them as a kamikaze to just go hit them. This is exactly how the HTS Tahrir al-Sham overthrew the Assad regime in the Syria. That was only drones capability. Other than drones, they didn't have anything else. The reason is, so of course that was good, but also Assad's regime was very fragile, and then that was kind of like a coup type thing inside the army because they were tired. They said we don't want. They didn't have any reason to continue defending it. But those drones that I was seeing, like that, they didn't need to break the line to keep coming forward. The drone was doing it for it. Now imagine F-47 has those drones to do the mission. So it's not only one flight jet to do one task. It's a one flight jet with a crew. Those drones are your crew, so you can have multiple tasks. Like generally, for example, they go to attack the facility or go to the dogfight with another jet. But when you have other drones, it's basically mini army. It's me and my boys. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not only you versus them, it's us versus them, and it's gonna give the confidence to the pilots to do more risky tasks, because in the end, besides that you have to save money, you shouldn't waste those money on you have to make sure like your jets doesn't get exploded so fast, so not only for your life because you are inside of it, but also it costs millions of dollars. But in that case, you can be more confident to do more hawkish thing, like more risky things. Why? Because even though your mission is riskier, but those drones are taking care of all those possibilities, all those side effects, all those unfortunate outcomes. So I think it gives more confidence and more flexibility for the pilots with 147 do so many things. And they can be controlled from inside. That's the best part. If they were controlled from other side, so they could cut the connection, so those drones would be useless. If they could get connection between the drones and those stations that they were controlling drone, that would be over. Or put the parasite, put the EMP2 for the discharge. But in that case, they are locally connected, so you cannot disturb the communication. And whoa boy, that's crazy. It's going to be crazy.
Second to none, because this platform is second to none. So we believe that this provides more lethality, it provides more capability, more modernized capability in a way that is built to adapt. This, along with the collaborative combat aircraft the President talked about with drones, this is allowing us to look into the future and unlock the magic that is human-machine teaming. And as we do that, we're going to write the next generation of modern aerial warfare with this. This enables us to do this. The manner in which we put this program together puts more control in the hands of the government, so we can update and adapt at the speed of relevance, at the speed of technology, not at the speed of bureaucracy. This is more Air Force. This is more options for the President. We say as our mission in the United States Air Force is to fly, fight, and win air power anytime, anywhere. If you want to go anywhere, you have to have a platform that gets you in. This provides the President options from the very one end, which is a quick response, and then we can get right back in fight stance without having to deploy troops that are going to take maybe months and cost more lives. We can be back in fight stance and maybe restore that deterrence, all the way to decisive victory as part of a joint force that is the most lethal and capable military ever in history. That's what we provide now, and this allows us to provide into the future. More deterrence, more capability. It's what these strength looks like in the future, Mr. President. And so we're very proud of that. And all we can say is, on behalf of the United States Air Force, let's deliver.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Chairman. You'd like to say something?
That's right, the Chief said this.
He knows what to do.
Generational
He knows what the boss is.
Exactly right. Our security is what's all about.
That's great. Thank you very much. Great job. We worked together long and hard on this, and this was a big secret. In fact, we don't show too much of the plane for that reason. You see what we show? You see how beautiful that is, but that's just a very small part of it. I wasn't surprised. I was wondering, how much did you show? I can't do that. You see a wheel in the front? That's about it. Any questions?
Mr. President, is 80,000 pages of documents is a lot to sit through. Can you just tell us who killed Kennedy?
Well, you know what?
So the Kennedy, man. About the Kennedy. So, am I supposed to believe that Harley Lee Oswald, lone wolf, went and killed the President John F. Kennedy, and then for 60 years, not only they have been hiding it, they were not declassifying. Besides, not declassifying, also kind of have a harsh response to anyone who wanted to leak that, or anyone who wanted to be whistleblower. We have here some scary story about those people who wanted to say who was behind the JFK. So all those threats, all those resistance, all those unfortunate events, something, let's put it in that way. All of those trying to keep it secret, not releasing it for freaking 60 years to in the end to say, oh, it is what we told you, the official narrative was Lee Oswald did that by himself, and yeah, that's true. So if that was the case, you would have released that 80,000 pages already. Because, for example, like one of the reasons is people are saying, well, because some people in the CIA were involved and they didn't want to risk their lives, so they didn't release those documents until they are dead. So when they are dead, nothing would happen to them. But even in that 80,000 is not mentioning anyone in the CIA that necessarily was part of it. So if you release those 80,000 pages, day after, like of course it went through years. Let's say day after that 80,000 pages was completed, was gathered. Day after you release all of them, nobody would be hurt. Then why so much hesitation? Why so much cover? Why so much delay? So much, like 60 years delay. If in the end we wanted to say that was Oswald. If that was him, you would have released those documents already, but you didn't. And now I'm supposed to be hyped up. I'm supposed to say, yeah, now we know. It is exactly what 60 years ago they said. But all these years, the resistance, the cover-up, the threats for nothing. You know, you threaten somebody if your interest is in danger. Nobody's interest was in danger in those 80,000 pages. So, no, I'm not hyped about that, because if really that was the case, they would have released already, so no conspiracy theory come out. Like, it only hurt trust of people to the government by not releasing that. So that was no benefit, because nobody was protected. In the end was Harley Lee Oswald. So he got killed already, so what are you afraid of? No name was there to say, oh, they were protecting some names. Whose name? We didn't see any name. And you expect me to say, oh, that was nothing, everything was okay? That was nothing to look at. So if that was nothing to look at, that was Harley Lee Oswald, then you should have released that already, if nobody else would be compromised. So no, I don't believe that, and I don't buy that. Not that I'm looking for conspiracy theories, but I'm saying, like, it doesn't make sense. If in the end this is all you were keeping secret, there is no reason why you haven't released that. Not only that, one of the FBI deputy or something, he got resigned for that. You got resigned for this? Oh no, I'm not gonna let people know that Harley Lee Oswald killed JFK. Everyone thinks he did that, and the truth is, yes, he did, but I don't want to let people know. Somebody got resigned, somebody lost his job. And then Trump said that in his first presidency, he said, they said, why didn't you release the JFK files? He said, if you saw what I saw, you wouldn't release either. If I saw what you saw, which is this 80,000 pages, I would have released that first day to regain the people's trust. To say, you see, no conspiracy theory, nobody was behind that. He was a lone wolf, he tried to do that, he was stupid. So no, I'm not into that. And listen, come on, nobody gonna document that who really killed that. Oh yeah, I'm gonna document that this man in here. If that was the case, something would have happened. Like, look, we don't have any clear, basically, case for the Diddy. We know that he had done some shady things. We are kind of sure like something is going on over there, something shady was happening, right? But he was arrested before even people knew that. Like, prior to those arrests, prior to those, he was in the news that they say he was beating his girl, his wife, whoever she was. Prior to that, did anybody speculate? Did anybody say, hey, this Diddy looks shady? Those videos with Justin Bieber and Diddy, they are not new. They were not released or leaked new. Like, they had been circling on internet for decades. Nobody even said, hey, it's kind of shady, this type of behavior, that talk. Just right after he was arrested, everyone started to be detected. So I'm saying, like, if that was something, you would see somebody would get some type of punishment by government. And after that, they would release the file to say, hey, it's already late. We already dealt with him, with them or him or anyone who was behind that. So done. So no, I'm smarter to be believing something that for 60 years you were hiding, covering up for that. To approve that the official narrative. No. Going back to F-47, I hope that we never need to use them, but peace through strength, that's a good thing. I remember President Trump suggested to Putin and President Xi of China to reduce their military budget to 50%. President Putin said, that's a very good idea, I like that. But President Xi said, like, kind of like, it's none of you guys' business. I do what I do. He rejected. So I think we know that it's gonna get a little dirty, and I don't think we're gonna give so many F-47 for now until everything gets de-escalated, like the Russia, Ukraine, Middle East, and China, Taiwan situation gets handled, and then maybe we start to sell them. Plus, one other thing is, it is not something new. That I don't know exactly what the name was, but 5 years ago they had that plan. They were creating this what's it called? This F-47. 5 years ago they started doing that, and then when Biden got into office, he canceled it, and Trump brought it back. So it is not like just yesterday they started to do that. This is something that they were working on that like 5 years ago they started. I think even more than that, they said 5 years ago. I think around the time that they started to make a Space Force, they made that too, because at that time he got interested so much into space and air. He was spending so much money on the Air Force and Space Force. So I think it goes back to that time. But they said Biden canceled it. I don't know if there is he really canceled it, because if he canceled it right now, they should have started from the beginning. Well, we have to see how long does it take for them to do that. He said that Boeing gonna do that. Is very there's a competition between private corporation to make those defense contract with the government. So we're gonna see like which one. He said that Boeing, so probably gonna make F-47. I don't know how much they have advanced. I think that was a prototype, those pictures and stuff. I mean, it looked like the AI, but he said that there were some couple of tests. Already everything is done. So I'm gonna see how long does it take until they have, they have the showcase, they do the training. They have, so people can see that and they analyze that. And that's how they buy that. So first you have to show to the world, and people say, hey, I want one of these. I mean, of course, if there's a F-47, so many people, especially Israel, want to be behind the line, on the line to say, hey, we want one. Yeah, so he started already, but so probably because probably they didn't know what they're going to put the name for it, but right now, because it is second administration of Trump, it's 47, because, you know, 40, because they didn't put the F-47 for that, maybe that was F-45 or something, because he didn't plan to not get elected by Biden and come back after Biden, right? So the name couldn't be F-47 5 years ago, because that would be no way Trump would be 47 president if he got reelected, and he didn't plan to lose that, so he come back with the number F-47. So I think they changed the name to F-47, so this is not the name that they picked 5 years ago when they started the program. It's very exciting. It's always good for America to be strong. And if your doesn't matter how good you are, let me put it in that way. With Hollywood and with human rights, with global warming activists, you cannot save your country from the foreign threats. So you need to be strong. So there is nothing wrong with making new weapons, new planes. Again, as a Muslim, this is the good thing. If you are strong, nobody dares to mess with you. But it shouldn't be like, I don't care, as long as I'm strong, I can do whatever I want to the people outside of the country and people inside. So it shouldn't give you leverage to be a dictator. But to have the strong army, that's a blessing, and it's a very good thing, nothing wrong with that. It's a big announcement. Actually, that's a very big announcement, because I really didn't expect. Because see, listen, I was watching some of news in Middle East, and they were saying, "Oh, F-35, bro, F-35 is crazy." I'm not saying it's not crazy, but like F-47 compared to F-35, probably gonna be the key to the master, like, you know, like an amateur to the master. And still there are some countries that they are fighting with Americans ally that they have F-35. They say we cannot deal with F-35. It's still most of the world cannot deal with F-35. They are into trouble if F-35 attack them. Now we are talking about F-47. So it's going to be very scary news for those people who thought America gonna fall. And as an American, I'm happy for that. But yeah, that's about it. So I covered the JFK files, that I don't believe that it is what it is. I believe in those files, but I think it's not all the files. That's what I believe. Look, he said these shouldn't be redacted. Everything, even social security number should be there. Nothing should be redacted. And it happened with Trump, because Trump got offended. He said, I told you guys to release those files. Pam Bondi, Ted Bundy, none of them did. Cash Patel, none of them did shit. We have JFK files because of Trump. And then people say, promise made, promise kept. No, bro, Trump did that. You didn't do shit. And there should be accountability, because, I mean, why are you there? Why are you getting benefit, profit, and credit for something that you haven't done? So President Trump released all those files, but I think they are not all the files. That's all my take. I'm very grateful for what he did. He really cared about America, but we have to be careful right now. There are so many people into his ears are whispering for another war. And I hope this F-47 doesn't give us the idea that we have to go to another war. It's good, like, let's make a business by not war, but by selling equipment to guarantee peace. Like, gun could be used as a war, or can be collateral or something for the peace. So yeah, we're gonna see that JFK. It was good that 80,000 files were released. So maybe there are some news over there that we haven't paid attention. But really, I believe, like, it's more than that. F-47, it's very good news. it's taken to the different dimension, different level, sixth generation of the flight jet. And I hope it doesn't give us, especially since skyrocket, the number of people who are applying for armies skyrocketing, doesn't give us a, oh, we have soldiers, we have equipment, we have the support, let's go. Especially, you have to remember, it is the second term of Trump. Trump is not going back in 2028. So he does whatever he does, it's over. It's going to be his legacy, good or bad. So we have to be careful. Some people, they're going to use that leverage because it makes all the president, Obama, Bush, anybody who went two-term president, the second term they got hawkish. And for example, Biden wanted to do so many things he couldn't because he needed to be reelected, even though he didn't anyway. But if that was second term of Biden, Biden would deal with Ukraine, Russia in way worse manner. So we have to see. I hope for the peace. You know what I want? I want a first woman on the moon. I want the first human on Mars. This is what I want. I want life on Mars. I want technology, AI. I want to, like be strong so much that nobody dares to mess with us, but also be so good in everything. Everyone say, can we be your client? Can we be your friends? Can we buy those stuff from you? Like, for example, like look at the iPhone. iPhone just looks good. It's trash, bro. Like for like last 10 years, like what did we do actually? The biggest achievement was what? Like trailer of GTA 6 and also PlayStation 5 from Japan. Bro, we have to be way more than that. Like Meta is doing great job. Like with the AR, with the VR, it's really, I have Oculus 2. I'm so happy. I want to buy Oculus 3. It's good, but with the AI, only Boston University, have you seen the robots? Check it out. It just walks like a human, as if it is the graphic. It's not real. It's AI generated video, just like human. Imagine we have Tesla robots. They are beautiful. So what I'm trying to say is, look, we have to make sure we are not wasting our talents, our lives, our soldiers, our money, our time, our energy, our focus on war, but on ourselves in here inside. This is my opinion. I mean, let's see what happens. All right, guys, thank you for those who stayed with me. I hope to see you next time. And like always, as above, so below.